Hello, and welcome to the Girls Last Tour iceberg video. This iceberg was made by Reddit user Leon Dinats. And if you don't know what an iceberg is, it's basically a tier list of conspiracies of a certain media. The lower the iceberg, the more obscure and disturbing it gets. I'm going to assume that you already know the anime Girls Last Tour, but if not, then let me give you a quick explanation. Girls Last Tour is a manga series later turned into an anime about two girls surviving in a harsh winter fallout. And I hope that was enough info. Also, there will be major spoilers, so if you want to leave, then now's your chance. But without further ado, let's move on. Dab. Starting on our list, we have Dab. This one is pretty simple if you watch the show. In the opening credits, there is a moment where the two girls dab. That's pretty much all there is to say. Ket and Cut. In the manga and anime, there is a weird alien cat called Nuko, but it also goes by Cut or Ket with K. Nobody really knows which its actual name is. Chizu. When Chito finds a camera, they decide to take a group photo together. Instead of saying cheese when you're about to take a photo, she says Chizu instead. I'm not actually sure why. Kettengrad. I'm going to assume that this is a typo and the author actually meant to type Kettengrad, which is the name of the vehicle the girls use throughout the series to travel around. Mini character series. I'm going to go out on a limb and say what they mean is the mini-series for the anime, which featured the characters in a school as chibi characters, called Girls Weekend Class. I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube if you want to give it a watch. OST language. In the official soundtrack OST of Girls Last Tour, the language of the opening and closing themes are mixed of Japanese, English, and German language. Thank you, Reddit user Spitting Lima 9617 for explaining this. The year is 3230. I'm guessing that since this takes place in the future, the year this takes place is in the year 3230, though I'm not sure why specifically that year. ED is manga. What I think this is explaining is that the closing theme for every episode of Girls Last Tour is just an abridged version of the manga. Death. I think what this implies is that there is death in the show and the manga, like the fish and the two other humans. Not sure where else I can go from there. Graves with no bodies. In one part in the series, the girls find a bunch of tall graves, with what I'm assuming are the people's belongings like radios, rings, and buttons, but there are no bodies to be found. Where are the bodies? I don't really know. Multiple wars. Pretty sure this just means that there were multiple wars that caused the winter fallout for Girls Last Tour. Ishii and Kanazawa are dead. In the show, the girls meet the only other living survivors in the entire series, Ishii and Kanazawa. They're only there for about one episode, and then they move on with their day. There's theories suggesting that they've died off screen sometime after parting ways with them, which means the girls are now the only people living on Earth. Scary if you think about it. Hopelessness. I think this just explains the theme of the show, which is about hopelessness, or something like that. Eternal winter. What I think this means is that in the world of Girls Last Tour, after the war, the world went under an eternal winter, which means it will be snowing forever. War prisoners. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not sure what this means. I don't think there was a hint of war prisoners in this series. Maybe in the manga, but I haven't read it. Montage shows Chito's past. There is a theory that in the montage of all the videos in the camera when it was playing, there was a baby that looked a lot like Chito and a child that also looked like Chito. and it was showing her past life before the war. But the war was a very, very long time ago, so it could probably just be their ancestors. Rocket first survivors. From what I've gathered, it seems that there were rockets built long ago by humans and were going to be used for combat. I'm not sure where else I can go from there, sorry. Black Slab is teleporter. In episode 8, the girls discover a strange place featuring tall black slabs filled with drawers of people's belongings, like I've mentioned before. I guess this theory is saying that maybe they have to do something with teleportation? I'm not really sure. Suicide from cliff and blowing themselves up. For our last entry, I'm putting both of these here because they're pretty much the same thing. Near the end of the manga, Yuri mentions without context that they have explosives left. Some theories state they will commit suicide by blowing themselves up or jumping from the highest level. And that's the girls' last tour iceberg. Hope you enjoy listening to it, and I'll probably see you all later. Okay, bye now.